All right, T-Rex82 here. Welcome back to another Empyrion Galactic Creators Studio update video. It's been a little while since I've been able to do any uploads or do any streaming just due to the holidays and spending time with the family. I've got the baby girl coming very soon, so we're very excited for that. So it's been a lot of preparing there. So thank you for your patience. Without further ado, here we go. Here's a project that I have been working on for JRandall's Super Carrier. That's what you see in the background here. The goal was to be able to create a CV, and he left it up to me what the purpose of that CV was going to be to fit in that middle section, which you see right in front of me. At first glance, everybody knows that I'm not very good with capital vessels. I have a real hard time getting things to look the way I want them to look, and I think it's just a scale issue that I have with me. I'm better at doing CVs, HVs, just because it's a smaller scale. I can kind of put myself in there, and I feel like I can add a bit more detail. But you know what? I see when he contacted me, I said, why not? Let's give it a rip. So I've gone through about 4 or 5 iterations of what you're about to see. It's still a work in progress. I haven't done any texturing on it. I still have to add in some final details and work things in. So it's a bit of a rough shape. But the whole idea that I wanted to go for with this was a mining capital vessel. So that's going to leave me with a couple questions that I hope you guys can answer. This is going to be on the front of his ship, but I want to know whether or not I should put in advanced constructors, large constructors, or just go with the small constructors, seeing that this is going to be a mining vessel. So maybe the whole idea is after you're done mining, you can go ahead and just start refining the ores in the smaller constructors en route back to the ship, kind of an idea. But here we go. I haven't had a name for this yet. This may follow the Taiki. Well, let me rephrase. This is going to be in the Taiki line. This is going to be an MCRN edition. So here it is behind me here. If you are familiar with the Taiki that I released, then this cockpit is going to look quite familiar. So essentially what I did was I have taken it, I illegally just turned it into a CV, started chopping blocks away, refining the shape, and then adding in elements that were going to kind of match the style of JRandall's angles. And this is kind of what I've come up with so far. I like the way it's starting to come out. Again, I have a lot of work with it. And the struggle that I had early on was getting something to fit in that area. Now, while this is a giant super carrier, that front end is deceiving. It's a lot smaller than I was expecting when it comes to doing another CV within that area. So what I've done is I have kind of matched the angle here. And what that does is it does overlap onto the front of this angle in the upright here. So it's not quite exactly a perfect fit, but it does fit. And I suppose that's the most important thing. So what I've done is I have created these legs that I have a couple thrusters in there, just basic, you know, thruster M's, a total of 6 of them, I believe, just to be able to have this lift under its own power. Then I have the 2 larger ones that are going to be able to lift any cargo that you have. I've got 8 forward-facing thruster M's. Reason for that is I did want to have a larger thruster in there, just a single one, but the space constraint just is not allowing me to do that on the inside. And you'll see what I mean in a little bit. But we do have the 2 facing downward. We've got 2 in the rear facing backwards, plus all of these up here. So what I'm going to be doing is setting these up on switches within the control panel so that you can turn them on as needed. So you're not going to need those large thrusters just under its own weight. You're just going to be using these 5 that you have in the back, kind of an idea, for your basic flight. But then you can switch these on when you're under full load. This thing it spins like crazy. on its own. So these actually, these sit, well, 3 on each side, but these thruster M's that you have near the back thing just make this thing spin like a top. So there's no need for any more thrust in that area. Now, the problem that I was running into is how I'm going to fit a lot of cargo capacity in this. And I played around with a lot of different ideas. The first one being was, you might see them in the air behind me here. Here we go. I was working on these for a little while, and the idea was that these were going to mount underneath whatever capital vessel I was going to create. Because I was having a real hard time getting them to fit just regularly inside a vessel. So I was going to have them external and have them movable. Now, it's still something that I may release in the future. It may not be under the MCRN line. It may, I'm not 100% sure as of yet. But as of right now, each one of these has about 220,000 cargo capacity. And they're fully capable of being self-sufficient on lift and capabilities. It does get a little rough, but once you're under full load, but it's still flyable. It's still maneuverable. But I ended up settling on this design. Now, what you see here is these pods. This front pod is made out of all cargo containers. And then these 3 in the back here, along with that center shaft that runs down the rear, is also cargo extensions as well. And these are going to be piped into the cockpit up in the front. And I have split them so that they will be, you'll have 320,000 times 2 internally, plus the front end, which is going to be probably close to 200,000 by the time I'm all done. So you're going to have a ton of ore that you can take with this fairly compact vessel. So that was the idea. So to demonstrate what it looks like in its current place, let's go ahead and back this up. So I found it very difficult from here to be able to line up even in external view. If I can get to it, there we go. It's a bit difficult because, like I said, it still spins pretty good. So after talking with JRandall for a little bit, I realized that I need something in the back to be able to guide it. So that is back here. Now, the first portion of this is the entrance. We do have a ramp here, which will allow you access to this first floor. This first floor is going to be mainly your medical area. So this is going to have like your spawn chamber. It's going to have the medical devices, that kind of thing. I feel like after talking with Excalibur, for instance, that's something that he likes to see. He likes to see those medical devices as soon as you enter the ship. So I'm going to go ahead and do that in this certain area here. I have to figure it out. But there's going to be railings that kind of split around this, and I'll try to make it look as good as I possibly can. Really, this is all going to come together when I start texturing it. So I've added the cockpit over here, and this is just, it helps to line it up. And actually, these bars that I put on are there for that very reason. While it does look like they're holding up the cargo extensions, it also helps me with lining up the ship as well. So let's go ahead and back it on in here. And hopefully, look out. See, here we go. Listen, I can build. Nobody said I can fly, okay? Let's see. And let's see. Let's go back to external. So, the idea is I have 3 landing gears on here. And the front one will come down right there. And I find that is the perfect spot for it to fit. Let's jump out of there and go back down. So you've got lots of space to maneuver down here. It's very elevated. This will be packed with detail by the time I'm done. It's going to have a lot of different textures, a lot of good piping, that kind of thing, running throughout here. So I think either JRandall could throw in a door here, a big hangar door, or maybe even do just a smaller one that accesses the lower level here, because I have been told that below here is going to be a basically a cargo room, so it's going to have a lot of storage in there. So this, I feel like this is going to work very well for that. So you can be able to transfer that kind of a thing. And the other idea I had with those pods up there is they have landing gears on the bottom and the front. So you could technically mount these to the interior of, for instance, this carrier. So that is an idea as well. So if you have a small amount of things that you have to take to surface or things like that, then you could just take one of these and take it on down and just use them as transport or that kind of a thing. And the other idea I had, that I am going to do a second version of this. And the reason for that is because for the longest time, I wanted to do a capital vessel that was capable of carrying the Taiki, and also had the similar look to it. So my idea here is I will be doing a second version of this. It will still have the same back end, but I am going to extend arms out the front like I do on the Taiki, with a middle platform in the center that you can land the Taiki on. That is something that will be coming down the road. Again, I have to finish this first, and time is of the essence when it comes to that. So that's where we currently set for the external. And like I said, I do have a bit more work that I have to do on it. But on the interior, you've got your 2 oxygen tanks. I may add more when it comes down to it. And again, this is not even close to being finished. It's just kind of blocking things in. This whole side over here allows me to get that 320,000 in based on this one here. And I still have to work out this side. So the idea is, should I put in one large constructor, which is going to jut out a little bit, or do I go with, for instance, like 4 or 5 of these smaller constructors to kind of keep that manufacturing feel, if you want to call it that refining feel. Like this is only built for that. So let me know down in the comments what you think I should do. I am very much at a tipping point on the fence with that, and I'm not 100% sure what I want to do yet. I may, with the new version for the Taiki, I may swap that out so that it's actually like more of a starter vessel or a CV that is going to be fully capable of holding like a large container, or I'm sorry, a large what is the word? Constructor. There we go. Thank you. But for now, for this, I think that its sole purpose is going to be a mining capital vessel. But let me know what you think down in the comments. If you like what I'm doing, please hit that subscribe button. Let me know in the comments what you would like to see improved. I do take all of that feedback. For instance, there is one gentleman who is always letting me know that my camera is too shaky when I'm doing this. So I'm really trying, just to let you know, buddy, I am really trying right now to slow down and just kind of go as slow as I possibly can so you can kind of take in all the angles possible. But until next time, I'm going to leave that right there, and I hope you all have a safe and wonderful holiday for the new year that is coming up, for those of you who are going to be celebrating it, and until next time, keep your heads above the hard deck. And I will catch you later. Bye-bye.